right, Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. We're back in the kitchen where we're doing our bread machine bread of the week. And today my husband chose blueberry bread. So come on, let's get started. Oh, and this is not a gluten-free recipe, but I do have some gluten-free recipes coming up. Besides one bread machine, and here you can see I just have my DAC Turbo Baker. I have washed my tray, made sure that my rubber piece is in. I've got it all seated nicely. I've put down the blower and my paddle is seated nicely. We are ready to begin. I've set my clock. It is 10:27 a.m. All right, we will need one package of yeast, and that is your rapid rise or instant yeast. They're the same thing. And you will need 2 1/4 teaspoons. That's 2 1/4 teaspoons equals 1 package of yeast. Here we'll be using 1 cup of enriched bread flour, and we'll be using 2 cups of all-purpose gold medal flour. We'll be using 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We'll be using 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of real butter. This is unsalted real butter. If you get salted, then just reduce the salt by half. You can use margarine in this recipe as well. And here we have 1 drained can, a 15-ounce can of blueberries. It calls in this old recipe booklet for 16.1 ounce, but obviously things have changed and they've charged more money for less product now. So all I could find was the Oregon blueberries that were in the liquid that came even close. So these were 15 ounces of blueberries, and it's not blueberry pie filling, it's the regular blueberries that has the liquid. And here you can see we have drained the liquid, and you want to put that in the microwave until it reads 110 degrees. Okay, 110 degrees. This liquid is what really is going to give this color and texture and flavor. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start loading everything up. We're going to check our temperature. We're right at 110 right now, maybe at 112, so that's perfect. Just don't go over 120, whatever you do. And we're going to start layering things in our machine. I got a knife here because when you put in the breads, the flour, you're going to want to level this off. All right, so our machine calls for actually putting in the yeast first. And that is 2 1/4 teaspoons, so we're going to go ahead and add that in here. And you're supposed to put it towards the side of the machine, just like that right there, along that outer edge, the outer edge of the bowl. I'm going to do the other side over here, and then 1/4 teaspoon. We'll put that in that edge right there, just as long as we keep it on the outer edge. We're going to do 1/2 cup of the bread flour. Calls for 3 cups of flour. And we're just going to sprinkle that in. That means I'll be doing 2 1/2 cups of the all-purpose flour. Oh, here's 1. Here's 2. And the other 1/2 of the all-purpose. I'm going to sit that out because we may need more of that. Is our 1/2 teaspoon of salt. After that is our 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm just going to use my spatula here, and I'm just going to kind of blend that in just a little bit. Right, and here's 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. Again, if it had been salted butter, I would have reduced the amount of salt I put in there. And I'm just going to break the butter up. And I'm going to put this butter around the edges, and then some in the middle, not much. I'm just going to it kind of helps the machine to work a little bit. You do not have to melt the butter, but when it's worked into smaller pieces, that sure does make it easier to work with for the machine. It says, in order listed, add dry ingredients in the pan. We did that in the order listed. Put well-drained berries into 2-cup measuring cup and add 1/4 cup of the juice. So add the berries to a 2-cup measuring cup. Got them all. And then add 1/4 cup of the juice. There you go. All right. So we've got our entire can of blueberries in here, and we added 1/4 cup of the juice back in. And enough water to equal 1 1/3 cups. Yeah, that's what it says. And enough water to make 1 1/3. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but I want more juice. You eye this on the plane. Make sure that you sit it down here and you look. This needs to be pretty exact on the water or on the fluid, the liquids. All right, then it says, select the white bread setting and push start. Okay, well, it didn't say to add it in. Okay, so now we're just gonna add this right in just like this. This is gonna make for a really dark bread. I think you could probably take out some of the blueberries here, and I think you could add them into the bread so that they don't get pulverized. And I think I'm gonna do that. I think I want some whole blueberries. So I think I'm gonna take some of these blueberries back out and then add them in to the bread later. Just a few. Because that's how I roll. It means I gotta get some of the liquids back off here. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna set aside maybe not even 1/8 cup of blueberries because I want whole blueberries in my bread. And if you need more liquid, then be sure and just add, more liquid from here, which I just did. Okay. All right, so we're gonna close the lid down, and I hope you can see in here okay. We're going to make sure this is on the white bread setting. There is a sweet bread setting and a white bread setting. It says here to put it on the white bread setting. So that's what we're going to do. Let me double check. It says select white bread and push start. We have that? So here we go. I just had a feeling I was going to take those blueberries and just kind of pulverize them. So this is going to be oh so good. And you can add other things in here. Make this your recipe. Have some fun with it. I just find that mixing the bread flour and the all-purpose flour, 1 part bread flour, 2 parts all-purpose flour, gives me a little bit more of a denser loaf. And that's what I like. And this machine can handle a denser loaf. But the bread flour has more glutens in it, and it does help give a nice size to the loaf. But when I eat a sweet bread, I don't want that really airy bread. I want a more condensed, softer dough. As a matter of fact, I know that butter's in there. I know that butter's in there, but I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/2 tablespoon of oil for softness. Like I said, I just really like a soft, sweet bread. And that looks better anyway. That's doing much better. Oh gosh, that smells so good. Oh my Lord. Smell that. Oh my God, it smells good. Okay. It's mixing it, but I'll tell you what, it looks like it might need a little bit more fluids. We're gonna give that now. There we go. Let that mix up. You can open it up and you can fill the dough and see how it fills. Sorry, but I think it needs I think it needs to be loosened up. That wasn't going to raise like that. So it needed far more liquid than what it called for. This is blueberry juice. I don't want it squirting out everywhere. That's much better. And then we'll add some flour back into that as we need it. Yeah, that wasn't near enough fluids for this bread recipe. It wouldn't have raised if it had been too thick, so. Remember, I'm doing the recipe out of the book, so I'm finding a few little flaws here and there. And if you want it to, after you add liquids and you find it's not wanting to mix, just add a little bit of flour back in. That'll help clean the sides and get it kind of grabbing a hold of it. There we go. Interesting. There, now it's starting to blend it together. It's much better. Although we will see. I'm going to add some blueberry candy flavoring to this. Oh yeah. Just a little bit. Oh, that smells so good. Oh my Lord. You know what? I'm going to knead that in for just a minute. Let that run. Just want to make sure that candy flavoring got kneaded in. I know, I would have done it by hand. I'm so particular. I'm glad I added the extra vegetable oil. It's too tough for it. I think I'm going to have to tell you what, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this as it is. Just a little bit of flour. My table, I don't want to put in too much. I'm just going to go ahead and hand knead this. It probably did a few minutes worth itself, so, but you can see it pulverized those blueberries. That's what I was afraid of. And it smells really good. I don't know, I'm used to having blueberry bread that's more of a sweet bread. And this is pretty. I like a little bit stickier bread. And you see, I really had to add a lot more fluids to this, and I'm not even really adding any. You don't want to add flour to it. If it's not sticking to the table, don't add flour. This is going to be interesting how this actually turns out, to be honest with you. I'm just going to knead it till it's somewhat smooth, only because this was supposed to be set on a white bread setting. I find that weird too. And I'm not going to be able to bake this in the machine. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to bake this in the machine. I think what I'm going to do, it's pretty smooth. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead here and I'm going to put a little bit of oil. It can be olive oil, it can be canola oil, vegetable oil, it doesn't matter. Put a little bit in a bowl. Just oil your bowl all the way up the sides, really, really well. I'm not sure what that is. I even put a little oil on my edge just to help me knock it back down again without it catching on the edge. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put this bread right in here just like this. I'm going to coat it to right here on both sides. There we go. I'm going to cover this, gonna set this in a warm place, maybe even in my oven with the oven light on, and we'll see you back here in a couple of hours. This recipe did not work in this machine. Usually this machine can handle some really heavy stuff, but because the ingredients here in this recipe out of the book wasn't accurate, I mean, I even took out, I mean, looky, I used another half a cup of juice in this recipe, and still had a hard time getting it to soften up. So we'll come back here in a few hours. We'll see if this raises. Okay, that'll be interesting to know. Hopefully this will work out. I'm eating it either way. Okay, I just raised this in the oven until double. Okay, that smells good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knead this one more time. Then I'm going to shape it, put it into a greased and floured loaf pan, and then I'm going to let it raise one more time. And then I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees. But see how the machine broke apart these little pieces of blueberries into small pieces, so I wanted some blueberries left in my bread that were whole. All right, we'll be back when I get that far. Okay, here's our bread. You can see it's doubled. Just going to turn it out just like that right there. Put a little pan here. Put a little flour in that. Sure, it's a lot easier to do this in the bread machine. Okay, now I'm just going to take and we're going to knead this one more time. And I'm not going to put very much flour in here at all. This raised up nicely. It's nice and soft. Look at that. Just going to knead it for just a minute. It won't take very much. Again, you don't want very much flour in here. Just working the bread, making it nice and tender. Okay, activating those glutens. You need bread. Again, you don't want to add a lot of flour to the bread. You're just keeping it from sticking here as you're rolling it. Especially a flavored bread like this. You don't want it to be really heavy and really dense. I mean, this isn't muffins. We're just working it. What you do is just take it, fold it over, and then work at the palm of your hand. Just push. Just push. You can see, hear the air coming out. I think I kneaded this pretty good the first time, so you can hear that gas releasing. Just going to kind of stretch it out here just a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of roll it up like this and kind of pull and roll, pull and roll, pull and roll. There you go. Kind of tuck the ends in. Pinch that together. Might need a little bit of water to do that. Right now, since I'm rolling it, would be a really good time to add some blueberry pie filling to this, or even some cinnamon or what have you. Just a little bit of warm water here will get that to that nice and smooth bottom here. There we go. Smoothing that out. Get a little flour on there. There we go. Trying to even it out so it's not so. There we go. All right, I'm going to push it down and kind of meet the corners of the pan. It'll give me a nice Nice square loaf. Same thing. We're going to cover this with a towel, and we're going to put this back in the oven with just the light on, and I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes. And we're going to just let this raise in the oven with that light on. It'll be nice and toasty warm in there, and we should have a nice big loaf to bake. And we're going to have to probably bake this on the middle to lower rack in a convection oven for 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, okay? A toothpick stuck in the center should come out clean. But you'll know, because when you knock on this, it'll sound hollow. You'll know when it's done. All right, let's go ahead and let's give this the second raising. Okay, we're gonna pull this out of the oven here, and we're gonna gently take off the cloth. Ooh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. That's how nice, that's how big that's looking. Blueberry bread. Now, I've got this on the bottom second rack here. And if you want, you can lay a piece of foil across here, and I'm going to do that here shortly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in here. I just took the cloth off. And I'm going to turn the oven on to 350, and then I'm going to set my timer for 25 to 35 minutes, probably between 25 and 28 minutes, I'd say, for this bread. And then I'll come back and I'll check it. I'll split it. We'll go 27, and we'll see you back here then. How's that for a loaf of bread? Sounds hollow, sounds good. Butter rubbed on there. Butter gives it not only a shiny crust, but it also helps it to be more of a softer crust. And I just keep this bar right here just for this purpose. By the time I get done buttering it, then we'll pop this out and put it here on our wire rack. I might have just saved this blueberry bread recipe. I might have just saved it. Proof's always in the taste and in the pudding, right? Okay, I like my crust nice and soft. Get that nice and melted on there. I'm going to take a picture of it like this. So I'm going to turn you off for just a minute. Now that, to give you an idea, is a big loaf of bread. Okay, we're going to cut into this loaf of blueberry bread. I'm going to show it to you here really quick. You can see this. Look at the size of that bread. Looks like and it's nice and squeezable soft. Right here's where, looks like I pulled that one out of my hat, because it was not going to look like that from the bread machine. So now let's, from hand kneading it and baking it, and let's see how we do here. Let's make sure it's done. See, you hit it, it sounds hollow. This isn't the best knife for cutting it. Let's see how it looks. It's still hot on the inside. Look at that. This is the size of my hand to give you an idea of how big this loaf is. Texture is great. Smell is great. Smells like blueberries. Remember, this is blueberry bread, not blueberry muffins. So it is a little bit different. This has yeast. It's like a yeast bread. It's not the same, but this would be great toasted. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a bite here. Still warm. I'm going to give a bite here to John. I put that candy flavoring in there just to get rid of a little bit more of that yeast bread taste.
It's very good.
Now again, it's not blueberry muffin. It has a mild suggestion of blueberry. It's not a strong blueberry, but
That's a nice flavor.
it really does have a really good flavor to it, doesn't it? I don't think it would have had this good of a flavor if I had kept it in the bread machine. I think putting in the candy flavoring, putting in a lot more of the blueberry juice. I wasn't able to put in the whole blueberries back into it again because I couldn't knead those in.
It's good.
It is really good. So there you have it. It's got some nice coloring to it. I don't know if you can see it in here or not, the coloring. It's not as near as dark as what they showed on the picture, is it? You almost have to laugh sometimes at things. Okay. It's a huge loaf. Look at the size of my hand compared to the size of that loaf. I love it when I make bread and it just gets really big and it still has a lot of good texture to it. So, I think I pulled this one out of my hat, so I'm going to have to write down the recipe of what exactly I did to change their recipe to actually make this work. Because, you know, I did not set out to hand knead this and to bake this in the oven. That's not what I set out to do. I set out to use the bread machine. But it ended up that the bread machine only blended it and mixed it and kneaded it for about 2 minutes. I ended up hand kneading it myself. Would I make this again? Yeah, I definitely think I would.
It's good.
But is it just a happy accident that I could never redo? That's a possibility. Should I even post this video? I think I will, just to let you know how you can make bread when there's even been an accident in the bread machine. You know, how to fix it. And I think that's important because look what I got out of the deal. I got a beautiful loaf of bread. I mean, that's just a beautiful loaf of bread. It's just so tender and perfect. I'd say it's probably, as far as texture goes, this has like a little tinge of blueberry sweetness. I mean,
just enough, but not overpowering. It's just enough, but not overpowering.
Well, we're used to the blueberry muffins where where just blueberry just pops in your mouth. And this bread isn't like that. It's just a hint of blueberry. And I think without the blueberry candy flavoring, I don't think we would have gotten that at all.
It's very good.
And most blueberry breads are sweet breads, and they're made with baking soda and baking powders and things. Where this actually was a yeast bread. So, so it has the bread flair is there. So as far as mixing this up in the bread machine to make a quick mix, that worked out great. So I think I'll change this recipe from what the book said. I'll add my differences to it. And I definitely make this again. I'm hoping that I know exactly. I'm glad I filmed it. That way I know what I did. So if you make it the way that I made it, then you too can have this beautiful, beautiful blueberry bread. Okay? Be sure and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button. Show your support for our channel. Let us know that we're bringing you the things that you want to see. Leave comments below. We love it when you pepper us with the comments. And we love you. Enjoy your blueberry bread recipe. And I'll figure out all the adjustments that I made, and I'll put it in the show more column below. All right, I'll figure it out somehow. I'll figure it out. Matter of fact, I'll probably make it again to make sure that I figured it out. But see how when you brush the top with butter, how that softens that up real nicely. All right, we love you. Blessings.